Wait, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the top 8 of the first Penny Dreadful Season 20 top tournament. What is the first match we're going to watch? Let me see. Yeah, I'm with you. It's like, I don't think I'd make top 8 either if I... So we're going to watch maybe a blazing fast matchup. Um, we'll watch Swift Justice against Pigmax. So it's gonna be, and we'll do the prediction right now. Blue-White Blink against Mono Blue Infect. Interesting matchup, I would say. Do I live? No. Indifferent. I would say indifferent. So yeah, Mono Blue Infect. They have Blazing Shoal that pitches Volcanic Salvo to make your guy really big. There's definitely like Ponder, Sleight of Hand, Peer Through Depths to find your stuff, Miscast to kind of just protect your guy. On the other side is I would call it Blue-White Blink. It's an Ephemerate deck with Mull Drifters, Thraben Inspectors, Wall of Omens, Venser, Shaper Savants, one of the new cards that are in the format. Couple of like soft counters. I don't know. This is gonna be a really interesting matchup, I'd say. The Infect deck is on the play, which I think is a really big deal. One card they don't actually have, which is really interesting to me, is they don't have Simian Spirit Guide. I think it's like a free mana. Maybe they don't even need it. I don't know. I think they could play like a turn 1 Blighted Agent and maybe just kill your opponent on turn 2. Sometimes it's just good enough. Alright, both sides are pondering. The rest of the top 8 is as follows. Affinity, Mono Red, 2 Affinity. Who's Plurt playing? Ad Nauseum broke the top 8. Jar Jar thinks is on Mind Crank, which is Duskmantle Guildmage, Mind Crank combo. And 8th place is Goblins. Jund Goblins. So interesting top 8. Ad Nauseum made it. I deemed that deck bad, and it's not, I guess. So they're playing Cloud Post Mana too. I don't know how I feel about this, honestly. I guess there's some sort of like loop with like Mnemonic Wall and Ephemerate that you can do. They are a flicker deck, so maybe they're trying to ghostly flicker their lands and stuff. So they can definitely like draw their deck and brain freeze, so it's a pseudo combo deck as well. Muddle's finding the Blighted Agent here. Nice little dual spell here. Transmute. Not the best transmute spell, but it is up there. This transmute spell definitely didn't win the PD 500. I can tell you that much. But it is a really good one. It gets a 2-drop. This one is Blighted Agent. Alright, and then it's get casted. Let's see, they're getting hit with a Mana Leak. So let's maybe see a blue counter right back. And gets miscast. Another interesting card in the Mono Blue Effect list is Solve the Equation, a new card from Strixhaven. Basically a Penny Dreadful version of like Merchant Scroll for the most part. You get either parts of the combo. If you're missing Blazing Shoal, you go get it. If you're missing Volcanic Salvo, you go get it with Solve the Equation. So that's pretty neat. It's a nice card. Alright, so every attack feels like death. There's no like a probe, Mixaxian probe, to really look at your opponent's hand to see if the coast is clear. No training wheels at all. So they just kind of have to go for it. I think Peak is legal. Is Peak not legal? Alright, Ghostly Flicker is going to flicker a land in the Astrolabe, which will draw an extra card. Very Pauper-like. I guess you could play Peak. Yeah, playing it safe is for suckers. All right. Putrid Depths probably just um looking for either half, honestly. They're actually not playing Selene Vision. I really like Selene Vision with Putrid Depths. I did make an Monopoly Infect list in season 18. I really like playing Selene Vision because it makes Putrid Depths a lot better. You could find lands with Putrid Depths, which makes it super awesome. Venser, Shaper Savant, in response to the Putrid Depths, can bounce a spell or a creature. Decide to bounce a Blighted Agent. Or spell a permanent, rather. This card's really good. Oh my god. Okay, they found this Salvo. So they delayed their, like, Inevitable Doom by a turn. But if they can, like, Ephemerate the Venser a lot, maybe it's enough to just kind of, like, shake off the Blighted Agent. Alright, Port Town comes into play tapped. Alright, solve the equation. Probably goes finds an Ephemerate, which will totally buy a bunch of time. Yeah, it's definitely going to annoy the Infect player a lot. If I were them, I'd probably do this on my upkeep. Like, upkeep Ephemerate. I don't know. Them untapping much lands. You know, one card's a salvo. They saw it with the Peer Through Depth, so one card definitely does not matter. You like doing it now? It's not a bad idea either. One card left. The last card could be like a miscast from the Blighted Agent player. Are they going to go for it? There it is! There's the miscast. Rip. Big rip. This might be game right here. They have the Volcanic Salvo. If they just find a Blazing Shoal, this could be just game. Alright, solve the equation. Both sides have it. They find the Blazing Shoal. All clear. Alright. Blazing Shoal exiles a Volcanic Salvo, and that is 13 damage. Infect gonna take that first game. So sideboard-wise, I think it just gets a lot better for the Infect player. They get to play Negate, which is pretty strong. They even have like a alternate win condition plan in Tempest Gen. That's pretty interesting. The Blink player, who's actually only lost, is to the Infect player, by the way. And they have the rematch here in the top 8. They're a little kind of an unlucky draw. But they do have like so they have Reflector Mages, but they're actually in the board, which is really funny. It's only a 2 of. Their deck is like really interesting. I think they didn't know what cards to really play. So they do have an infinite mana loop with like Palancron. There's a lot of loops in this deck. But I definitely Reflector Mage is going to come in. Maybe Test of Talents could come in. Test of Talents exiling a Blazing Shoal would be pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, like, the new cards from Strixhaven always get lower than they should be. I don't know how crazy Solved Equation is. It's basically, it's a 3-mana tutor, which is not bad, but it's very specific tutor. I think Instant and Sorceries and Standard are way weaker than here. And, you know what I mean? I think, like, the power level of spells overall has gone down. Because, like, a lot of things are creature heavy. So Church of Blade, it gets through. No miscast. Or, I'm sorry, no mana leak or memory lapse. That's very interesting. Kind of makes you ask what do you... Maybe they have Reflector Mage here. That'd be pretty strong. All right, there it is. Yeah, like over 200 Strixhaven cards I think are legal in Penny Dreadful today. All right, Ponder digs again. This time plays Ichor Mirror, another random creature. Ichor Mirror is actually pretty great. Probably the second best infect creature that you could play in this mono blue deck. It's hard to block, as it gets +2/+3 every time you block it. But they found the Ephemerate, and the Reflector Mage will blink the next two creatures more than likely. Yeah, I mean, like, PD is always there. You don't have to, like, have time for leagues. You just have time when you want to. You can just play for fun. It's pretty cheap. That is the appeal for most of the people. You can pick it up, play it, and put it down and walk away. Because your investment is very little. They actually, like, refused to play the Blighted Agent. In fact, they moved the discard, and they discarded Blighted Agent. That's actually pretty interesting. They let their Ephemerate go. Astrolabe's going to redraw. Alright, end turn Putrid Depths. Looking for an answer to this Reflector Mage. Gets Mana Leak. That's a very aggressive Mana Leak in my opinion. Alright, finds another Blighted Agent. Hopefully there's not another Ephemerate for the Reflector Mage. Alright, Reflector Mage number 2 comes out for the Blighted Agent. But he's such a tempo loss. Remember when Reflector Mage got banned from Standard? Wasn't that a wild time? I think I played Reflector Mage. I think I played a lot of formats pre-banning of a card. Like, I played... When I had to play Standard, this was before, I think, like, Marvel, or Aetherworks Marvel, and, like, Reflector Mage and Smolder's Copter got banned or whatever. And then I played, like, pre-ban Hogak. Like, the tournament right before they banned Hogak. I played that Modern. I played a lot of, like, pre-banned Moderns. It was crazy. What's up, Scoots? It's funny, because they didn't have Reflector Mage in their main deck. It was sideboarded. These are sideboarded in Reflector Mages, which they might think about that differently now. For all like the Ephemerates and Ghostly Flickers, they actually have very few creatures in their deck. Only about like 16 creatures for this Blink deck. Alright, Ghostly Flicker on the Astrolabe and the the Reflector Mage is kind of gross, but Muddled Mixture is going to try to negate this way. And Disallow is going to disallow. I love Disallow. It's another new card here in Penny Dreadful. Very, very great cancel. Probably, maybe one of the best cancels we had. Like, second best. Forbid is the best cancel, for sure. I think Disallow's probably the second best cancel. Alright, here comes a Blighted Agent. This Flicker deck is very Pauper-like, I think. In terms of, like, just, like, trying to blink Astrolabe a bunch. It feels very Pauper-like. Alright. Attack with all the Reflector Mages doesn't feel like a great attack. But the Infect deck is at 8. Alright, another Ghostly Flicker on the main phase. It's gonna resolve. So Astrolabe draws a card, Reflector Mage bounces the Blighted Agent. Mizium skin on the Blighted Agent will give the Blighted Agent hexproof. We actually lost Dive Down, which is funny. Jar Jar with the raid. Thank you so much, Jar Jar. Hope the... I think you played... Oh, you played... Oh, I guess you lost. Sorry for your loss. And congrats on your top 8. All at once. Alright. Do they have it? This would be the turn to do it. I think. I feel like this is a good opportunity cost. Alright, they're gonna do it. They're gonna go for it. Blazing Shoal. But yeah, Jar Jar also streamed today, so if you want to go head over and give them a follow, go right ahead. I'm gonna follow. Make a follow. Make a follow. And alright, that's it. The greedy no block? Yeah, it's hard to block an unblockable creatures. Alright. Well, congrats to Mono Blue Effect, gonna be going on to the top 4. Did you miss it? Well, we're still in top 4. We're still in top 8. We just started top 8. Let's see what else is going on. We'll go here. Taurus was undefeated. I believe they played Affinity. This is one of the there's one of 2 Affinity decks. I picked this as my best aggro deck, and 2 of them are in the top 8, so I feel very justified so far. They're playing against Jund Goblins. Very goblin deck. Goblin-y deck. I don't know what else to call it. But yeah, 35 creatures, 25 lands. The mana base is left to be desired. I'm going to say that right now. I think it's a really terrible mana base. I said it. There, I said it. I think it's terrible. I think this mana base is just god-awful. I really hate this mana base, honestly. Let me go back to hating its mana base. I know you're trying to like trigger like Rootbound Crag and Dragon Skull Summit, but they're playing like Chasm, which I don't know, it's just not a red land. This deck is very red heavy. And I don't know, it's just really awkward to me. They play 3 forests. They play like 3 and 1 swamp. It is like crazy. It's crazy to believe. Alright, this is game 3. Oh, so this version plays Eyesight Golem, which wasn't really on my radar. I was bigger on the Springleaf Drum, just sort of like other plans. They're playing Frogmites, Master of Ethereum, Etch Champion, Ravager, obviously, all main deck. So they're splitting Gingerroot and Eyesight Golem. That makes kind of some sense. This is big, though. They're playing Frogmites. They're only playing 16 lands. That's wild, actually. 8 islands, 4 Darksteel Citadels, and 4 factories. That is, like, quite aggressive, I would say, without any sort of moxes. Gingerroot's not unblockable, especially if you're playing against, like, a War Chief. I would say. So it's not like the bee's knees in this matchup, especially. Yeah, no, the mana base is awful, but they probably copied it from a league list. I mean, it put 2 people. Oh, this is the only goblin topic, but a lot of people played goblins today. I think I went like 0-2 against goblins today, so there's something there, I guess. I got Earwig Squad. That's what happened. I got squatted up. Oh my god, it's the promo Arcbound Ravager. Alright, I didn't know this was a promo, and I'm surprised by it. They could load up on the Signal Pest here. That'd be kind of wild. Actually, I kind of like let's see, one, two. Maybe it's not enough. This is weird. It has no eyes. It barely looks like it has eyes. Yeah, I only played like two Hypergenesis in my deck, so I definitely got there. Alright, so I like Goblin Raging finding, yeah, any removal spell is great. I'm actually surprised they didn't get, why did they not get to get Bread Cap? Bread Cap would kill two things, I feel like. So, they it looks like they tapped out for red, but they definitely have the Prospector to kind of make a bunch of red if they need to. These, God, these lands are so bad. This man to be... Sometimes, and this is, I don't know if people would like this, but sometimes I want to take like deck submissions and maybe like I used to do this before, like way back, way back in a land far away. I had like a debt doctor thing. Some website hired me to do it. I didn't get hired. I volunteered to do it, and I made a bunch of like weird. I had a bunch of weird decks submitted to me. I wonder if like people would be interested in that. I don't know. Like, no, this is before Twitch. That's how long it was ago. This is like I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what standard it was. It was like Onslaught standard or Odyssey block standard or something like that. It was way back. I had some ugly, disgusting words. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. If you're watching a YouTube channel, just leave a comment below. What do you think about content you'd like to see? All right. Ensoul Artifact. I don't like that. If you look at the board right now, the signal piss is very nice. I mean, sure, the Munis expert could just blow it up, but I would have actually like waited. This was like kind of they didn't even like blow up this Eyesight Golem for the 2-for-1. I'm actually really surprised about that, but I guess it's like a trap because they kind of want to like put everything on the pest. This is like a really awkward match. So they definitely know they have the expert, and but like, and there's a Ravager in play, so it kind of like negates some amount of removal. Well, the Goblins deck has they have an expert, a munitions expert in their hand, so they're kind of trying to play around it, I imagine. All right, the rest of the top 8 mono red over the Mind and Crank deck. We watched the Infect deck. Swift Warkite won with Affinity. And we're waiting on the winner of this match. This is game 3. So the Ginger Root's not really unblockable now because of the War Chief, so every creature has haste. So this is why Ginger Root's probably not as good as you probably think it is. Turbo Fog almost made top 8 today, actually. Turbo Fog was beating every Goblin deck. It was actually kind of crazy, but I think they lost to other things. Yeah, every matchup we watched, because it was the last match, was like a Turbo Fog match. Yeah, Affinity seems a bit fast, I would say. Probably way faster than his Goblin deck. Can Infect even beat Turbo Fog? Maybe. There's a lot of soft counters. Alright, Double Ravager's pretty fun. This board is getting a bit messy. I feel like they just don't want to shoot. No one wants to shoot first here. I think the real like key in this matchup is Signal Pest. The Signal Pest here is like super important. Someone's gonna have to react first. So the fact that they're playing lands is really bad, I think. Okay, pretty soon, like if they draw like a Pashlik, this might be just game. Yeah, they have infinite red mana, so this is what I don't like about this list, is that like I feel like they have like so many like infinite things, but it doesn't like mesh together. Like maybe they just need matrons and like everything. I don't know. It feels just so the mana base feels so clunky. Yeah, they have a lot. I think they could just go for it, honestly. I think they're just afraid. Okay, the Ringleader might spell death here. They've waited just too long. So they found a Sling Gang Lieutenant, another Expert, and a Pile Driver. This is probably game. Because, I mean, if anything, the life total is going to be so out of hand. Like, they have infinite with the Putrid Goblin. The Putrid Goblin is just lethal. Yeah, they have two goblins. They have two experts now. Yeah, they're very dead. They have a Grumgully, they have a Sack Outlet. They have a Grumgully, they have a Putrid Imp, or Goblin, and they have the Sling Gang. So that is game. I think it's just kind of waited. I think they were really passive about this. There's definitely a point where they could have probably loaded on the Signal Pass and just gone in. That's unfortunate. Okay. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching. We'll find them next a second. No, I mean, you can still talk. I think it's really super easy to see everything on the outside looking in. But that's why we're chatting. It's so much easier up here. Okay. I'm just gonna push the report here. We gotta get this going. It's level 11:30 already. I feel like we just watched the Affinity matchup against Goblins for a second. I guess we could watch a full match. We'll just watch it again. Alright, here comes the next prediction. Jund Goblins against Mono Blue Affinity. We just watched this matchup. We're gonna watch it again. I think the difference between this list and the list we just saw, that they're playing Swiftwater is playing 4 more lands, and Arkham's Astrolabe is kind of an extra card drawing situation. I don't know if that's even good. I'm not sure if Astrolabe was that great when sure, okay, so it relates itself into an artifact, but you don't really like need to fix your mana. So um it feels not great. Like Drum with like Memnite Ornithopter is great. I mean, that's where you want to be, definitely. But I don't know if you really need Astrolabe. I'm not sure. That's just me. But I'm not in the top 4. They are. But besides Jund Goblins, I've already complained about the mana base enough. But 35 creatures, 25 lands. They have like they have a built-in little mini combo with mostly revolve on Grumgully and persist creatures. Yeah, Turtle and Astrolabe here. The artifact that kind of just cantrips. Mogwar Marshals to follow up here. Look at this sweet mana base. Forest and Dragon Skull Summit. Excellent. Love it. Love it. I guess if anything, it turns colorless mana into double blue mana, but you don't really need double blue mana. Okay, this is actually pretty strong. Making a 5/5 really quickly is pretty great. But the Walk Marshal gladly gets in the way. War Chief comes back to reduce the mana cost of all the goblins. Alright, Master of Ethereum, the follow-up here. They're gonna jam with the Astrolabe. So in my builds in the preview or my thing, I didn't have Scissors, the install artifact. But it's pretty good. I think they're actually very good. Alright, Expert kills the Master of Ethereum. It's actually pretty big. And they're just gonna say, F it. I'm not gonna block anymore. Let's just attack. Alright, Gingerbrute, good follow-up. With a cranial plating. Ooh, with triple Darksteel Citadel. This is a lot of damage. I guess it wouldn't have mattered, given the circumstances, that it didn't block. But now the Gingerbrute is very lethal without another Expert or another removal spell. They're gonna need like another Mucius Expert if they're gonna attack here. Okay. Shatterstorm, let's go. Yeah, main deck Shatterstorms. I'd love to see it. Alright, do they have the removal spell? Their Munitions Expert does have Flash, so... Actually, I'm sorry. They all have Haste. So the unblockable thing is not really a thing. Duh, there's a War Chief in play. Duh. Duh me. Duh. I said this before, earlier. When people were saying, I know Gingerbrute. Just ignore me. I guess another thing about the Astrolabe that's kind of good if they're playing Ice Golem, which I don't think they're. They need Expert anyway! So it gets to take out the Urkham's Astrolabe. One thing these decks right now I think they lack is a bit of reach. A great card I think maybe in the sideboard they can consider is Cursed Scroll. I love Cursed Scroll a lot. Alright, Matron's gonna find probably another Expert, if I had to guess. Okay, it finds a Ringleader. That's a bit less cool, but I guess it's okay. Kind of don't understand this roundabout way of like tutoring. Like, sure, I guess it's like a reflex to get something cool. They got 3 cards. They got another Matron, a Sling Gang. No attack. That's wild. I don't know what they're afraid of at this point. Alright, Signal Pest is the big one. They definitely have to kill the Signal Pest, which will die. It will die next turn to the red cap. They can maybe Matron for... I think this is game. So they can Goblin Matron for a Grumgully, and then they can play it, and then they have the Sure Crossers to play the red cap, and that's just game. If they do it right. Okay, so they tapped all their green sources, so they didn't do it right. You could just sack a bunch of cards to Prospector. This is still... Okay, they're still not doing it right. Now they're just cut off a black mana. Maybe... Am I wrong about Goblin Matron in their hand? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't think I am. No, I wasn't wrong. Okay. I'm playing Goblins. That's it. I'm playing Goblins. I'm gonna make the best Goblin deck of all time. That's it. I'm playing Goblins. Okay, they still have the Grumgully. They just drew the Grumgully. They just drew it. Okay, this is just overkill. Like they can't, and the FNM can't punish this at all because oh, my head hurts. Okay, game one goes to the Goblin deck. How did it? How did it? They're just built different. They're just totally built different. How do they see the game so differently? Okay, so how does it get better for the Goblin deck? Well, it they have the Trash Master and Goblin Masked Vandal, which is actually a Goblin. It's a changeling, but it's fine here. All things that can deal with artifacts. They didn't even respect Affinity. No Shatterstorm or no Creeping Corrosions. It's wild. On the other side, X Champion's gonna be a big player here. There's no way that really they can kill it. Spatial Contortion's another fine way of slowing them down. I can see those coming in for sure. Ribbons has always sweet decks, but let's look at theirs real quick. Ribbons was the first person he went like 20-1 with his first Goblin deck. Wonder if they're in a league. That was, I forget what season that was. It was like 8. I think it was like season 8, but okay. Yeah, this is more akin to their old list. I've seen this before, yeah. It's very aristocratic. That's definitely a Ribbons thing. If anyone's interested, here's the list. Alright, double plating is kind of wild. This is a big start. Alright, equips on the Signal Pest. Do they have the Expert? Oh, looks like they do. The Expert's actually really great. I still like attacking, honestly. I actually like getting in there. Alright, Goblin War Chief is the follow-up. I like attacking. Oh, they're okay, they're a little... I guess they're a little hesitant to attack. I mean, there's a bunch of, like, Bastions in play. The plating guy is huge. Looks like they're gonna play Etch Champion here. Alright, Master. Master's fine. It's a 5/5. It's pretty beefy. The Trash Master is here. Oh my goodness, this Trash Master is actually kind of insane. I was kind of like jokingly trashing on it earlier, but this is actually pretty big. It makes all the equips pretty bad. You really need an Etch Champion at this point. But now Etch Champion's not super great. What's in top 8? 2 Affinity decks, 1 Mono Red, 1 Ad Nauseam, 1 Blue White Blink, 1 Mono Blue Infect, and 1 Goblins deck. I think it's 8 cards, 8 decks, right? Did I miss one? Oh, Mind Crank. Mind Crank was the last one. Alright, Mono Red has defeated Mono Blue Infect, so Red deck wins into the finals of the first tournament for Season 20. It's going to face the winner of this match. Goblins is up a game. And Soul Artifact on the Springleaf Drum. This is like probably the biggest stretch of their mana base. They're playing like 8 islands, only like 8 lands. I guess the Astrolabe like kind of fixes your mana a bit. So I guess it's not the worst thing in the world to make your colorless mana into like blue mana. But you only have like 12 cards that cast that. 4 Frostshock Bastions and 8 Snow Covered Islands. So it's kind of scary. It's kind of a scary card to play. Oh, are you saying that like? Are you saying that first day at school plus like the goblin, future goblin's like infinite? I guess it is infinite, huh? With a sack outlet. Yeah, that actually is kind of funny. All right, here comes a big old mem knight. So you can only have like so many goblins though. So you like block the mem knight, sack it to kill the drum or the frost. Oh, actually, I like this. The bastion's pretty nice to kill too. They get the drum anyway. All right, they might be running the goblins to sack to the trash master though. They need like a go wide card, like a slinging lieutenant or something like that. A Mog Warmosh would be amazing. They find a ringleader. Ringleader actually draws 3 goblins, and that's game. Goblin's gonna take it over Affinity. It's gonna face mono red into the finals. Yeah, that was kind of brutal. Okay, I am coming around on Trashmaster. I am actually coming around on Trashmaster. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not coming around on the Mana Base, but I'm coming around on the Trashmaster. All right, so it's gonna be mono red against goblins into the finals. The finals we've all been waiting for. All right, we're gonna get right into it. Let's do the last prediction of the night. Uh, so I played this deck in round one. I got stomped, kind of. I don't know. This okay. So I want to like kind of rephrase this red deck. I think it's more of a burn deck. Yeah, I don't even want to call it red deck wins. I think it's more of just a burn deck. It's got very few creatures. 4 Lava Runner for Ice Cycle, 4 Wayward Guy Beast, and 2 Thermal Alchemists. And they're playing just a bunch of just 3 damage burn spells. 4 Shard Volley, 4 Rift Bolt, new card this season. 4 Chain Lightning, 3 Galv Blast, Lava Dart, Shrapnel Blast, and Arkham's Astrolabe. So, and a couple of Burst Lightnings, and they're playing Wheel of Fate as well. Also, the tech card, 1 Smash main deck. It's wild. But yeah, I think it's more of a burn deck. Yeah. This actually is more of a burn deck. So red deck wins. A little bit of a misnomer. But I think it's a good thing that they're mostly burned, because I think they can like maybe overwhelm all the creatures. I don't know, there might be too many creatures to burn down. So let's see if they go face or try to play more controlling. Yeah, this is more of like a burn deck. For sure. Alright, perfect mana. Turn 1 Mountain. Turn 2 Dragonskill Summit. They're going with the Earwig squad. The turn 2 Earwig squad. They're going to trade the Prospector for the Earwig. So Wheel of Fate's already been exiled, by the way, or suspended. So just the old Wheel of Fortune soon. We laughed at it and then I died. Not to it, but to the deck. So all right, 3 Galv Blasts are the take here. I don't know how good Wheel of Fate is. I don't know. Alright, Riftbolt is suspended. This basically is the suspend deck. This is the saddest Lava Runner. It's just a 1-2. It's a lowly 1-2 against the 5-3 Earwing squad. Another main deck card. This is a one of, by the way. This is a crazy one of. Right, Matron goes to find a Slinging Lieutenant. Let's see if they have the fourth land to play it. Burst Lightning to the Dome, end of turn. One card left for the burn deck. I think the Riftbolt's going to go to the Earwing squad. There's no reason it wouldn't. Now the Lava Runner is unleashed here with a 2-2. You hope they didn't skip more Arc Trails. I am going to disappoint you at sideboards. Alright. 4 mana here. It's never going to be a Slinging Lieutenant. Or no, never mind. It's a Ringleader. Another good card advantage card. 3 out of 4. That's a great hit. Grum Gully, Mog Rorschel, and Goblin Matron. Alright, the last burn spell is a Burst Lightning. Two more turns for Wheel of Fate. I mean, the Goblin deck has a full grip, so maybe they just hit 7 lands with the wheel. Alright. Lava Runner comes back. This is actually going to be an exciting wheel. Because I don't think... Okay, they have to play a Slinging Lieutenant here. But it's not, like, lethal. Is it? Wait. They go to 8, so they only have, like, 5 there. So the wheel is going to draw 7 for the red deck, which is actually kind of scary. Okay, so what do they have in their hand? Munitions Expert, a bunch of just stuff. So yeah, I mean, the red deck here can just draw a bunch of bolts and win. Let's see what happens. 8 cards have been drawn this turn for the red deck. You never get to say that, but it's happened. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I don't know. They're at 9. Next turn they'll probably die to the Slinging Lieutenant somehow. Hey, yeah, I guess they're at effective 14. You're right. You guys are right. The Slinging does gain life. Pardon moi. That's French for pardon me. That's a lesson for today. It's the POG of the day. I can't say anything because I definitely lost this deck. I must sit here and take it. I didn't have to sit here and take it. Alright, Shard Volley on the Slinging Lieutenant. That's the start. I don't mind straight burn, but they have to be, like, really reasonable cards to play. Like, I like Thermal Alchemist a lot. I mean, I can see the deck going to, like, a Thermal Alchemist, Electrostatic Field sort of way. I don't honestly hate, like, a burn strategy. And Wheel of Fate's very interesting. Like, it's... The idea is there. Like their ideas are definitely there. There's definitely a thought process behind it. I think it should be a bit like it's day one. It is literally day one of season 20. So a lot of people are just taking some like wilder brews. Yeah, I think they might have just like drawn a bit too many astrolabes or something. They use a lot of burn spells on creatures, so that's kind of just the matchup in general. Okay. I kind of like the attack here. I kind of like an attack. I would have liked an attack, honestly. It's like Flaming Hell, but not good. Alright, Expert's gonna take out the Thermal Alchemist. That's a little sad. We barely knew ye. Alright, Putrid Goblin follow-up. Yeah, the rebuild is just so strong for the Goblin deck. It's really hard to play like this control strategy. They just don't have enough cards to do it. Some of the spells just don't do anything. So Astrolabe is in here because they have Shrapnel Blast and like Galvanic Blast, but it really just doesn't like do anything. It's not like a good enough enabler in my opinion. And there's also Ice Tide Golem to get Metalcraft. So like there's an idea, but I don't know if it's like it seems to be like too many ideas at once. Although they could just go like double Shrapnel Blast Bolt and they would die. And then I will just eat my hat at this point. They're still holding on. They're definitely just playing a bunch of dudes. I hate Will and Chasm. It's so bad. It's such a wrong lane to have. Alright. Ringleader finds another 4 cards. What are we getting? Double War Marshal. Really terrible time for the burn deck. Takes so many cards to beat a War Marshal. This is really weird because the Goblin player they're playing very tentatively. They can't really like push through some damage. Their best attack is probably just like the Putrid Goblin and maybe the Ringleader. Those trade. Eventually you have to like you probably just have to block at some point. You can go or you can go to 1 and maybe just like risk it for the biscuit here. They're probably not. I mean, the guy beats are never getting through. This has to be an end of turn barbering, right? This probably could be another War Marshal. This barbering has to go to the dome if there's any chance. They have to have double shrapnel blast at this point. Please barbering them in the turn. This is your only chance. Please. Please. You have to barbering them. Because if you have 1 shrapnel blast, you're only out to draw a second one. Alright, there's 1. Okay, I think they missequenced this. Well, it doesn't really matter. If they draw another shrapnel blast, it's over. It got rid of galvanic blasts, but not shrapnel blasts. All right. All right. Everyone's blocking. Everyone's getting in there. Every single person is coming in to block these trample guys. Any electricariers? Electricary. Electricary. Go, go, electricary. Please, stop teasing us. I know you have shrapnel blast. Just barbering shrapnel blast them. Please. I know you have it. Alright, Ice Eye Golem. Not the droids we were looking for. Alright, big decision here. Not really. This is kind of game if it just pay for the echo for both creatures. No cards left in hand. Barbering is active, but they're exactly 2 life. Alright, Grum Gully, just for good measure. This is a lethal attack. I don't think there's any, like, lava darts in the graveyard. So, alright. Close. They were close. That wheel just probably didn't hit, honestly. Alright, sideboard. Let's start with the Goblin deck. They're not sideboarding. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's nothing in their sideboard that says, like, I need a sideboard. They're probably just not even going to board. There's, like, more things against, like, aggro decks. If there's anything you maybe want to board is maybe Nighthill Spellbomb to mess with, like, barbering, but that's probably, like, a big maybe. Maybe play Masked Vandal against Arkham Masterlave and Eyetide Golem. Maybe, but probably not. They could bring in the Trash Master. That's not bad. They could just blow up these things. They've seen a couple artifacts. To see the artifacts kind of matter. On the other side, so their sideboard is very more skewed towards combo decks. They're playing things like Skull Scorch and like Tormod's Crypts. They were playing Lightning Rift in their sideboard and Artifact Hate. There's a single Pyroclasm and like a single Ash Zealot. It's very awkward. So I actually like playing Curse of Pierce Heart though in their sideboard. Kind of a way to like avoid attacking, which they are not going to ever attack. Rip, rest in peace, Grim Lavamancer. Definitely didn't make the cut this season. Would have been great in a deck like this, I think. Alright, here comes Ash Zealot. This is a one of in their sideboard. I can't tell you why. But it's gonna work out pretty well. It's gonna be a good blocker for the first couple of turns. Alright. Prospector turns into a Grum Gully. So already the Ash Zealot's getting stuffed here. Yeah, it's kind of wild. The wheel fate didn't really work out. That's the wheel. No, not really. Oh yeah, I guess I haven't run any ads anymore, so the pre-rolls are still on. Ooh, aggressive attack. They don't bite though, the Goblin deck. They decide to just let the Gully stick around. It's probably eating. Okay, they have another Ice Goblin. This is the creature side of this deck. I don't really understand Astrolabe without like multicolors. I don't know. I really don't. I don't get it. All right, Matron can go find like a Red Cap or even just a Putrid Goblin. They're gonna get Slinging Lieutenant. That's not bad either. I guess it just makes a bunch of like it makes like 8 power for 4 mana with the Gully. I like attack all. Heck yeah. Bring it. Bring it on. At this point, like, you need to just get them down low and just start burning them. This is a scary spot for the Goblin deck. They're at 6 life, 2 burn spells, it's over. Suspend. I mean, if they have the land for the slinging, it's gonna give them a bit of a buffer. But Pyroclasm is gonna take out everything. Burn it all down. I love it. All right, they find the land for the Sling Gang, which is gonna give them a little bit of a buffer. So they're like effective 9. It's kind of awkward to have to wait for the Pyroclasm when they know you have Sling Gang. Now that I think about it. All right, they had the Ripple suspended. They just snuck that under me. So they're gonna go right for the Sling Gang. That's probably right. You don't want it to hang out and just kind of like accrue value. They could easily just go like land Gully, Putrid Goblin, and you just die. All right, top deck Thermo Alchemist. All right, Ringleader is the follow up here. Let's see what they hit. Putrid Goblin, Goblin Matron, and 2 lands. Pretty solid. I would say a solid hit. All right, the Thermo Alchemist gets to block the 2/2, so not too bad. Best card, I think, would be like a Lava Dart. That's like a lot of damage. Actually, Shrapnel Blast would be the best card. Shrapnel Blast would be like 7 damage, and then Barbing would just finish the game. Alright, Matron. What are we looking for here? Maybe like a War Chief? Just to get haste everything. Munitions Expert. Kind of blow up the Alchemist. Okay. That's not a bad play. Um, I guess you're thinking about whether or not to cast a spell, and where the spell should go. I think they have Shrapnel Blast, actually. Okay. If they have a spell, they should play it, so they get another activation on the Thermal Alchemist. And they should definitely go to the Dome, because it's the only way they're going to win this game. Okay. I wonder if you just activate this Barbering. What is in their hand that they can't play? If it's an instant, I'm gonna lose it. Okay, they're gonna go to 5. Shrapnel Blast is exactly lethal. Another Barbering. So the same card is still in their hand, unless it was unless they drew Barbering. I don't know. This is not yet lethal, but it's getting close. Okay, another Ringleader and a Prospector, I believe, are the cards. Alright. Alright, Future Goblin. The last card. This is an lethal attack, so they have one more turn. I actually... Okay, it's not that bad for the burn deck. They can definitely just, like, shoot the Barbering to the Goblin player's face. If the last card's like a... If they have, like, a Murderous Redcap, it's over, I guess. Okay. If it's a red cap here, the game is over. Oh, it's a red cap, isn't it? Oh, it's a red cap. Or the Pashtalik Mons! Even better. Okay, I like this. No, this is perfect. This actually saves them here. So they're going to shoot the Prospector, and then there's no sack outlet for the Pashtalik. So they're living a turn. Correct play. Awesome. It's close. Shrapnel Blast or bust, baby. Shrapnel Blast or bust. Here we go. Can we draw it? Doesn't feel like a top deck Shrapnel Blast. They didn't... Pyroclasm? Okay, that kills you. What are you paying for? They just killed themselves. That's it. Goblins is gonna take it. Oh, no. Why? Why did this... I mean, congrats. Congrats to Goblins. Yeah. Congrats to the Goblins deck. That has to be a wheel. I think the last... I mean, they would have suspended it a long time ago, maybe. I don't know. I think if it was a wheel, it would have been like 3 turns. It would have been enough to do it. But yeah, congrats to Goblins. Wow, Trevor gobbling up the rest of the money here. What a tournament. What a tournament. Um, I don't know what to say about that finals. That was just... That was something else. That was pure Penny Dreadful, I think, in a nutshell. Definitely, like, the most purest of Penny Dreadful lists. I just want to show, now that it's over, I could show this list, this Goblins list. It's probably, like, a known quantity somewhere, but... Like, look at the mana symbols. Like, 29 red, like, 11 black, 3 green in Grumgully. And there's like 8 non-red sources. This is wild. This is like the most wildest list. Look at this. Like, there's like 3 forests. 3 forests! There's only like 2 green cards in the sideboard. Yeah, it's like 25 lands, 35 creatures. It's like, oh man. It's crazy. Well, yeah, that's first place. What else can I say? I'm gonna make a quick. I gotta do a quick analysis. So, like, I mean, I think it's like, I think given the fact that we have like Smoldering Marsh, which I think is really good, this mana base can be like way better for like a splash color. Because green's a splash color, right? Clearly, it's a splash. There's like prominent black in this deck, but it's like it doesn't feel like it's represented in this mana base. So like these could just be like Smoldering Marshes, and I think it'd be great. I think play like a pile more mountains, maybe. But yeah, the deck was like good. I mean, this deck is only held up by good cards. Matron, Ringleader, like the card advantage engines. Expert is a great card. It's honestly super sick. And they have the combo here of like Sack Outlet and Slinging Prospector with Grumgully, which like a lot of people just didn't go for a lot of the times. It was really weird. I feel like I'd be going for the combo almost every time. Like just like a single red cap, and I guess when you pay a bunch of matrons, you could play like kind of kind of like one-ofs here and there. They lost to Affinity, and they lost to, like, Infect, and they beat everyone else. This is actually that's not updated. Second place here, Burn. Started hot, 4-1, and made it all the way to the finals. Our match was close, I would say. I think I just messed up. Wheel Fate's a new card here. I think it's more fun than good. Main deck Smash is like a super interesting choice. I don't know if I'd make that choice, but maybe they're just anticipating a lot of Astrolabes. I mean, they're playing Astrolabe for whatever reason. Like, I think you could, like, do away with, like, these guys. I really think you could do away with, like, these guys and just play, like, 8 of these. You can play this and probably, like, Electrostatic Field is, like, a really good card. It's week 1, you know what I mean? So I get to sit here and oh, Electrostatic Field's not legal. Never mind. Psych. Firebrand Archer, that's the card. That is legal. Not legal. That is not legal. Okay, I guess it's Alchemist then. I don't know. We're dumb. See, it's week 1, guys. Week 1. Day 1. We don't know anything. But yeah, maybe this deck gets a little more, like, polished. Like, I see why they're playing artifacts for the Shrapnel Blast, clearly. I don't know. It's just not enough. The sideboard was fighting something that probably didn't exist. Like, I don't think anyone actually registered cycling. Not really sure. They'll play it eventually. Third place here, Mono Blue Infect. I thought this list was pretty impressive. Lost to Affinity, lost to the eventual finalist. Solve the Equation seems amazing. A new card here. Pretty great. It finds both pieces of the Blazing Shoal combo. Either it finds Salvo or it finds Shoal itself. Pretty good. I think Pier gets a little better if you play Salundi Vision. Because then it finds lands. That's what I tried in my list. I actually was happy with that. I played like 16 islands before Salundi Vision. So I can always, like, find, like, if I wanted Salundi Vision to land, I have a land. But, you know, either way. You know, pretty solid list overall, I would say. Tempest Gems is interesting. I'd maybe try Delver in this slot, but I don't know. Slip Through Space. I guess when these guys aren't enough. I don't know. Fourth place, one of 2 Affinity lists into top 8. This is the Swift Warkite version. Again, another deck that plays Astrolabe. So Astrolabe is pretty hard. I think it's actually not difficult to cast, but, like, you have 12 sources of snow mana to cast as Astrolabe. But afterwards, like, I guess your colors mana gets really great. But I think, like, Drum is just enough. I don't know. Soul Artifact, I think, like, did a lot of work in some matchups. I do appreciate its, like, power. It's kind of bad with Etch Champion, so I think you have to choose between Soul Artifact and Etch Champion, at least in your main deck. So that'll be, like, a pretty much... I think that'll be a big, like, divide between what Affinity players do. They play Soul Artifact or they play Etch Champion. Because it's really awkward when you have the two of them in the deck together. But yeah, I'm not really sure what Astrolabe in this list. But, I mean, it is an artifact, so it's not worthless. It's not completely worthless. It's just hard to cast, I think. I do like Factory and Bastion together. I think it's, like, pretty fine in general. And I guess you can make if you get an Astrolabe down, you can make Snow Mana with Darksteel Citadel. Because it's a snow artifact. Cyborg's kind of whatever. Just kind of standard stuff. Stubborn Nile's pretty decent. That sounds fine. Mind Crank in 5th place here. Just going down the list. That's our 5th through 8th place. So they're playing main deck Delvers. That's actually really interesting. I thought these were sideboarded in, but they're actually main deck, which is a nice little, like, alternate win condition. very much like a controlling build. They're not really tutoring much. You could definitely play like Muddle the Mixture to maybe like tutor for either copy when you need it. Because a lot of cards don't really find it. I mean, like, Ponder is really great, obviously. Factor Fix is really great. Sleight of Hand's really great. But they don't really like tutor. They don't like get right to the point. So maybe this could play Muddle the Mixture. That'd be pretty interesting to play. Or even if you like had the combo, you can tutor for like a counter spell or something. I think blue-black decks are gonna get really good because they have Choke Estuary. It's just a really strong land to have. It's gonna make just blue-black decks really nice. I think the last time Choke Estuary was in the format, I did really well with blue-black decks, so I think you'll see an uptick in that, just because based on just the land itself. I like Crux of Fate. It's really good. I don't like this art, but I like it as a good Wrath effect. I like the kind of control role they can take. All right. 5th through 8th. The 5th through 8th deck is Pigmax, who played kind of like a blue-white blink deck. It felt very poppery, but they said, I think they told me that it was more like just a way better version of the popper list. They have a Ghostly Flicker sort of combo with Mnemonic Wall. So I guess if you have certain cards, like this bounces all your permanents, or you could draw a lot of cards, or make a bunch of clue tokens, draw way more cards here. Palinchron blinks for infinite mana, I guess. It does a lot. Their only loss was to Infect twice, but they beat everyone else. World Gorger was a win. Random wizard deck, Battle Wits, and a Goblin deck. So the Cloud Post thing is a bit aggressive, I would say. But I guess you really need to get to like Mnemonic Wall mana and Palinchron mana really quickly, so that's probably a reason for that. I think this list could just play Mandic Reflector Mage and just be awesome. They also have a Brain Freeze and when they go infinite, which is really funny. I guess like draw the deck, make infinite mana or something like that. I don't know the loops behind that. Ad nauseum. I think those are like the... Wait, let me look before I make a statement. This was one of like 2 ad nauseum players. Was it only play Hypergenesis? Wow. So yeah, this is an ad nauseum deck that made the top 8 here. Lost to the Affinity deck in the top 8. Pretty okay. They're playing Plunge the Arc. That's actually interesting. Slaughter Pact is a nice one. So I think it's pretty standard. You know, some early cantrips, Ponder, Sleight of Hand. That's gonna just enable a lot of different decks. Astrolabe. I guess this is kind of free. It does fix your mana. But Lotus Bloom, Pentad Prism, the burst mana, so you can get to like 6. So like an Angel's Grace ad nauseum here. That's really just the combo. That's it. From there, you can go Lightning Storm with your Spirit Guides. Or maybe you play a Maniac and you just deck yourself and then you ponder to end it. Or it's changed into like silence effects, so maybe you just like they don't have the counter spell, they Angel's Grace ad nauseum, so what is Aegis of the Gods? You have Hexproof. Wow. Is this card like the first time it's been legal? I guess so. Interesting. Huh. An interesting card. Kind of like a True Believer, but easier to cast. This is pretty good, I guess, against, like, I don't know, against, like, Slaughter games, things like that. Okay. I don't have much I things to say about that. Last deck here, another affinity list from Torres. 6. So this list also plays the Soul Artifact, but they don't play... So this list is even greedier, I think. So they just, like, cut 4 lands out of their deck. And just went with, like, 1, 2, 3 drops. And with Frogmites. So they actually just cut lands for Frogmites. And they're playing... They're doing the thing I said that would be awkward. It's playing with Etch Champion and Soul Artifact. Which I guess is okay, but... it's a bit aggressive. They're split between Prince River's Ice High Golems. I think that's probably right. Or I think you choose one or the other. Now that if like people are gonna play goblins and They have like the Goblin War Chief, then like the Ginger Brute sort of like evasion gets really bad. So just having like a 2-drop or two like a Isumaru is fine. They're playing Mistcallers in their sideboard. I would hate to see Mistcaller in Hypergenesis. People are ready. This is such a good card against Hypergenesis. Actually, this is actually an insane card. Please don't make me play Dead Gone in my list now. I don't want to do that. Oh, it's so annoying. I might have to play Dead Gone. So annoyed. This is a pretty solid sideboard, I would say. Metallic Rebuke's just a random counterspell. Welding Jar I really like. Just kind of like it's just another shield for your like platings or whatever. Your Ravagers and Surtarg I just don't get, but it's whatever. I've seen this card in a lot of Affinity sideboards from seasons past, but I don't know. Only deck that went undefeated in the Swiss. Beat everyone, then lost to Goblins. The eventual winner, of course. Alright, that was the tournament. My deck was okay. I definitely could use a bit more tuning. I played against, like, what? All creature decks, actually. What did I play against today? I played elves. I played against 2 goblin decks, 2 red decks, and 1 elf deck. Those are actually like, reasonable matchups, except for those goblin matchups. Those were really weird. They had like a lot of different things going on. I really was really impressed with Stupor. I kind of want to play more Stupors. Like I might just play a 3rd Stupor here. Never had to use Dosan, but I still believe in it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is the right build, honestly. I'm not sure about Read the Bones either. It seemed okay, I guess. It's the cheapest thing I could use to, like, draw cards, except for, like, Discovery Dispersal, which I don't like Discovery Dispersal a lot. What I really do want to play is actually more of these. I think I might just cut all of this. Just forget about casting these things. Like, forget about casting all of this. And just play, like, 12 Scrylands. I might just do that. And just forget about casting the other things. If the game's going that far, then I'm going to lose the game. And maybe just load up on amulets. I'm kind of down for playing 12 Scrylands. I'm kind of down. It did help smooth out a lot of decks, so maybe I just try that. But maybe I have to shove another amulet somewhere. I don't know. I definitely not have Blazing Archon in the list. And then I'm playing like 16 creatures. That's kind of weird. Not even. I'm playing like 12. I don't know. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. If you're not following the stream, you should probably follow the stream. Maybe I stream tomorrow. I probably will. Unless I feel really bad, then I won't. But, yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I don't know if I have anyone in the raid. No. I got nothing. I got nothing. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. See you maybe, probably tomorrow. So yeah, take care, everyone.